Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I will do the highly requested sleeve tutorial. So we are going to learn how to make this exaggerated sleeve or draped sleeve. So this is not the main dress for this sleeve, but because you people have requested the sleeve tutorial for a long time, so I decided to make this sleeve tutorial. So I'll use a lining for this tutorial, but you can use an organza or a doll face fabric. It just depends. You can use an ashoke too. It depends on what you want to use for the sleeve. So I'll just use this lining to illustrate. So I'll measure 20 by 25. It is on fold because you will turn it with a lining. You will measure 20 inches by 25 inches. So the length of the sleeve will be 20 inches and the width will be 25. I know that 25 is too big, right? But you know that we are going to do some draping, so at the end of the day you still cut off some parts. So I will cut from the point where I marked 25. The length is 20 already and it is on fold because you will use the fabric and line it. If you're using an organza, you use an organza and line the sleeve. If you're using a doll face, you use your doll face to line it. So after cutting that, I'll go ahead and add a hard gum, like we normally call it, a hard estate to it, a hard one, so that it will be very firm. If you want, you can use a collar gum just to make it very firm. And if you are using an organza, you know that you will not add a hard gum to it because an organza is always transparent. So what you will do is that you will double the organza. You will double it like multiple times so that it will be very firm. So I'll go ahead and add my gum using my lining, using my iron, and I'm done doing that. The next thing that I will do right now is to trim the excess and trim the edges so well. So I'm currently trimming the edges. Like I said, the length will be 20 and the width will be 25. So it is on fold. If you open it up, you will have 40 by 50. So after that, I'll fold it back. I'll fold it in order to get my normal 20 by 22. So we are going to join only one side. We are going to close only one side. This is the side where I measured 20 and this is the side where I measured 25. So the place that you will join is the place where you measure 20, the length. You will just close one side of the length because the other side is on fold. So I'm trying to trim it so well before I'll go ahead and join it. So I'm done joining the side, the 20 inches at the length. So I'm done closing one side, and after that I'll turn it out. As you can see, that is what I'm doing right now. I'll turn it out this way and I'll go ahead and give it a nice press. I'll go ahead and iron it so well. So I'm done ironing, and the next thing that I will do is to pleat one side. I'll pleat one side of the sleeve. I'll pleat from the parts where I measured 20, the length. I'll pleat along the length. So, and your pleats will be like 2 inches. It will overlap by like 2 inches. It will go in so that the pleats will be very prominent. If you do any pleat that is below 2, if you can see, it overlap the other one by 2 inches. If you do anything below 2 inches, your pleats might not be that prominent. So I'll go ahead and pleat the second one. They will overlap each other by 2 inches. Now I'll fold the last one and I'll hold it down with a pin. Make sure to secure your pleats with a pin. The next thing that you do right now is to go ahead and run a stitch along the place where you pleated. So I'm done running my stitch and I'll trim off the rough parts. So I'll go over to my mannequin. Right now I don't have a dress form, so I'll use my mannequin to do the illustration for you guys. At this point, everything that you are doing will be on the clothes that you have made already. If it is a corset, it will be very easier, but let me just use what I have now to illustrate. So this is an off shoulder dress. It has an off shoulder bustier, and I've cut the armhole already, but a corset would be the perfect thing for this tutorial. Like I told you guys, this is not the dress that I'm fixing this sleeve to, but I just want to use it to illustrate. So you will fold the pleated side this way and you push it in from your armhole. It will enter from your armhole and it will come along the neckline. You push it in from the armhole and it will come towards the neckline, but it will not reach the center part of your neckline, and you will secure that part with your needle along the neckline and also along the armhole. You know, after stitching you will still trim out the excess on the inside. So after that, you fold it over to the back side, and then you can make your desired measurements. You can choose your desired length. If you want it to be a bit fitted at this point, you will do that. So when you reach the back, you will also pleat at the back and you will secure the pleats with your pin. Using an organza will make this so easier, because organza, when you double organza, it stands on its own and it is always lighter. So working with an organza will be way more easier because you will not add a hard gum to it. So after securing my pleats, I'll go ahead and cut out the excess like I told you guys. So after that, you fold over this place. You will not sew it just like that at the back. You will fold it and you will sew from the inside. I don't know if you understand what I mean. If you fold it this way, you secure it with your pin and you run a stitch on the place you folded in so that the stitch will be invisible. So you go ahead and continue securing this side, this armhole side, or the one inside, with a pin. So it doesn't end here. You can go on and on. This is a the draping part, so you are free to manipulate it. You are free to do it in whichever way you want it to be. So this is the final look for now. So I'm trying to check if I'll still do some arrangements on it. So I noticed that the sleeve area is a bit wider, a bit wide, like it's wide a bit, so I don't want it to be that wide. I want, the round sleeve side to be a bit fitted. So I'm still checking if there is anything that I will do. So I noticed that the round sleeve area is a kind of too puffy, so I'll go ahead and fold it in a bit. So I'll go ahead and push it in a bit, and while I'm doing this, I'll always secure them with my pin. As you can see, I'm pushing it in a bit so that it will give me a well-defined shape. So after that, you can go ahead and hold it around the neckline and around the armhole with a stitch. But if you are doing an inseam finishing, that means after joining your bustier, you place your bustier on your mannequin and do your draping, and after doing your draping you will sew. Then after sewing, you will now turn it with your lining. That is if you are doing an inseam finishing, and that is the best one. You, after doing this draping and after cutting out the excess, you can now go ahead and add your lining. But this is a finished dress and this sleeve is not for this dress, but I just want to use the dress to do some illustration. So after doing that, you go ahead and arrange your sleeve the way you want it, and you can pull it down so that the off shoulder will be more prominent, or you can push it up anyhow you want it, just go ahead and arrange it so well. So I'm still trying to check if whether I'm satisfied, and if I'm not satisfied, I will still go ahead and do some adjustment. But the neckline side, the way I place it on the neckline is the way you are going to do your own in order to achieve a good result. So just feel free to try out new things, try out new ways, and that's just it. Please remember to pleat by 2 inches or more. That's to help in giving you. Thank you all for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.